In the land of Freya, darkness spreads its wings. A corruption so deep, it poisons everything. But in the shadows, a group of heroes arise. Bound by courage, they'll never compromise. Through treacherous valleys and mountains high, they fight for justice, never questioning why. Their hearts ablaze, united they stand against the forces of evil hand in hand. Oh, hear the legends of our sacrifice. In the face of darkness, we will rise with valor in our hearts. We'll take a stand, defend us on Freya, we'll save the land.
Whoa, just can't get enough of that song. Evening, everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have Conrad as Arno Jerkel. We have Michael as Tharavel Eldon.
Hello.
We have Jace as Brother Gadden.
It was cold in summertime. We were just all happy to stay alive.
We have Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Is it me you're looking for?
Yeah, somebody got it.
I was not falling for it.
No, it's never to fall for.
We have Marcus Lance.
Shazbot.
And we have Vic as Saren Sanguine. Right, okay. So, it wasn't last week. Was it last week? The week before last.
No,
yeah,
right?
1 week.
It
Yeah,
was
week before last. We
Four years ago.
4 years ago.
It was 84 years ago.
We well, long and short of it is, there's about to be a siege, and Kiamat Redscale and his fellow Dragonborn have made their way through means, well, not unknown, but partially known, into the Temple of Devotion, and have kindly offered, giving you the information that the enemy is nearly will be upon this area, and has kindly offered his services to help defend the keep. Arno is no longer being hung. His brother Cyril is no longer being hung. They've had a conversation with
Damn right hung.
the high paladin.
Are we saying that the bard is not well hung for a change?
He's
Partially hung at the last,
all he is he's just a walking penis. Okay, so but he basically they're, the high paladin has just sort of through years of war and the stress of trying to deal with everything has not got the best of him, but he's somewhat sort of like worn about this. So what's going to happen in today's session is preparations for what is potentially going to be a siege.
Is it H?
H.
Is it H?
H. So what I'm going to do is I will give you a push onto that. This would have been an animated map, but for some reason this would have been an animated version of the map you're on, but for some reason
Roll20's a bastard.
Yeah, Roll20's a bastard. There's no clouds and pretty things that were going through it and making it look more sort of scenic. But basically, this is where you find yourself. You have the Temple of Devotion is surrounded by sort of like farmland and like sort of dense forest with 4 main roads in and out of it. There are sort of, as I'll go to one of the maps from World Anvil, there are sort of some like towers out on the fringes. There's sort of kind of early warning places and can be defended if needs be. But this is basically what you will be defending. I will show you the maps. So if we Shazbud. Okay. So I've named some extra places now. I went in and did some photoshopping and named stuff. Which I'll show people here on the World Anvil map so I can zoom in and out a bit better. But yeah, so you also know that the Elven City, after 4 years of this map, has now been named. It's called Rel Thalor. Oh, you can't see it on that map. It'll be that one for you guys. Will this one? Yeah, there you go.
Rail.
Yeah, Rel Thalor.
It's not fake. It's rail.
Rel Thalor is the name of the Elven city to your sort of northeast there, and then they've got some more city names or sort of town names. Quickfields to your northwest. There you've got Summerfield to your north. Pilgrim's Rest to your southeast. Then you got Stonebury, which is north of Mythwind, which is in turn north of Waterside. We all know what happened there. And then Whitefield, Liveview, and Quickfield are ones that you've been through technically on your way to the Sanctuary. Okay, so if you want to see these maps, by all means, let me know. I can go back and forth them as you wish.
Which was the one-shot bastion in?
The Bastion of the Morning Star. Bastion of the Morning Star.
It was Bastion of the Morning Star. Okay.
Yeah, Bastion of the Morning Star.
Simon Gantz is near the Tower of Nantgarth then.
Yeah, yeah, or on top of it, depending on where he landed, smashed up against the side of it, probably. Okay.
Knowing his luck, he probably landed on his arse and then got a tree between his legs.
Yes.
Oh, ow.
And now he's got a.
Hey.
Okay, so we'll go back on to this one here. So what's going to happen is you're going to have, and there's not going to be any sort of very strict rules in this, but there's going to be, where's my spreadsheet? You're going to have certain actions that you can carry out. You can sort of obtain supplies. There's a siege coming up. You obviously need to have supplies to keep it going. So you can go out to the sort of farmland, get some sort of lumber, things like that. It's just supplies. So general stuff, you go out and get it to sort of bring it back. You get civilians and stuff to help you with that, to get you those things. Those are sort of actions. And all these actions will take a certain amount of time. So it's not going to be you've got as many as you want. You can do as many as you've got time to do, basically. So you can all do things. The main actions, I would say, just you guys, and then if there's sort of like sub actions that you think your minions can do, then okay, we'll sort of talk about that. So I'm open to that.
You have minions?
Yeah, well, your NPCs that you have and sort of.
You have NPC?
You can sort of you got reconnaissance and stuff, so you can find out at this moment in time. You all, other than knowing that the enemy's on its way, you've no idea of its numbers. You have no idea where it's coming from, what's happening. So reconnaissance with that. You can also do some investigations within the temple complex itself. Obviously, currently you all have no magic, so obviously maybe something you want to think about. There's other stuff. Obviously you've got came out Red Scale and his lot there. You can do investigate things around the temple complex itself. Problem is, if these things you do, you can't
Take time.
Take time, and other people, if you're all doing things, then you can't do other stuff. So it's just very much about resource management in a certain way. You can also send for reinforcements. Now, there will be, and if you can sort of see in this map in front of you, there's sort of there'll be like little camps. They're refugee camps and stuff like that. So you might be able to get some of the people from there. You can get civilians. Obviously, civilians will help you. Will be able to help with certain things. But the more people there are, the more resources it will cost you, and I'll talk about resources when we get there. But the more people, more soldiers you have, the more civilians you have, the more resources you have. And granted, you will be able to probably defend better, but it's a sort of, if you don't have the resources, then your morale will start going down, and then that's where problems start hitting. Again, I will talk about that shortly. So you can go out to the fields and get stuff. You can go for reinforcements. You can go to, and it's up to you where you want to go with reinforcements. If you think you want to take a trek to further flung fields to try and get help, then by all means you can. I'm not going to put any restrictions on it. But if we go to...
Can I point out we have someone with the ability to teleport us?
Currently, well,
magic field.
Yeah.
When we get outside,
Yeah.
if we step outside of the fort,
Yep.
of the bastion,
So you've got like these sort of so Summerfield, Quickfield, Pilgrim's Rest, these small towns. They're going to be able to provide you maybe. To be honest, some of them you're probably wanting to get them evacuated anyway because they're going to get overrun otherwise. So civilians, you can probably get some towns guardsmen and things like that. So you can get a few. You're going to get maybe some supplies, get some bits and pieces from them, or you've got to persuade them to leave in the first place. Then you have things like the Risha Keep in the northeast. That's another bastion that you can try. I will give you in that one, because it's sort of quite a key fortification, it will probably be harder to get things from them. You have Whitewood is where you left that assassin. And you had a sort of small garrison of guys there you could potentially look for. There's further afield, you could maybe go to Star Shield, which is going to take you a fair bit of time to get there, but you probably get more things. If you really wanted to, you could maybe even go back to Alamore to try and get things. Obviously, probably not sending Tharavel or Ceravel because they'll get arrested. But, try and get some guys from there. That's where you...
What did we do there?
In the tavern, when you were all in the tavern and they thought you killed a halfling. And that's why you escaped. And the assassin is where in Whitewood, where you caught him and stuff, where he was going after you and stuff. But there's still
where you had to figure out... Where you couldn't figure out...
That could have been...
that line.
It's like whenever you play like those RPGs like Kingdom Come Deliverance or something like that, and you're like, you walk back into a town and then they just run up and start arresting you, but you can't remember why.
Yeah.
Again,
that's also called dementia. So
there is obviously there's the elven sort of kind of kingdom. Obviously, the bastions overrun, so you're not going there. There's the bastion, but the Beleric as well, potentially. Again, this will be all down to you'll gather information as well, because you don't know where the enemy is, so where you need to go to these places is pardon me, up to yourselves.
Bless you.
Okay. So yes, you can do that. You can do some training. So what's going to happen is you will have, and I'll tell you how many, you have a certain amount of guys already, a certain amount of civilians and stuff. Training is basically you're moving them a step up. So it starts off civilians, conscripts, sort of militia, regulars, and then guard. You will also have Dragonborn. Now they don't cost you any resources, and they don't sort of you can't recruit them or upgrade them. You can request more from Kiamat if you wish, but obviously there's that balance of
they'll have a cost.
Yeah, so the more of them there are, the more of them, and the less of you there are going forward. It's one of those balances you have to think about. Sort of. So if you're desperate and you need more, then I'm sure he will help you with more men. But there's.
I like that Matt was like, "Oh yeah, if you're desperate and need more," as if to foreshadow something along the line.
Foreshadow.
It's like, yeah, I'll just get ready for a TPK.
Yeah. So you can get, we have, so you can train them. Basically, what you'll do is you'll do like either acrobatics or athletics checks, plus one other attribute, like whatever you want to do, sort of make it sort of thematic, to try to train people. You get advantage if you have somebody helping you out. You get for each sort of 25. You get 25 guys trained per success, and it's a daily basis, so you can keep on going to sort of upgrade these guys as you go along, depending on how many days you have until this happens. And then there's sort of fortifying, you've got quite well built walls and stuff around you, but you can use sort of civilian help and yourselves to sort of buttress these walls, build barricades if you want to sort of build more, if you want to sort of zone off more areas and things like that. That's completely up to yourselves. And again, you will need sort of civilians and stuff to help you with that. And again, that will take you time to do stuff. I'll not go into what happened in battle stuff because I doubt we'll get that close to that anyway for there. So that'll be sort of the next time. But there will be sort of certain actions you can do in battle. When battle does come, important things to note will be, if I can get this spreadsheet, obviously supplies. You'll have a certain, depending on who you're recruiting, they will cost you much. So like a temple guard, so one of the main sort of elite guys, he's going to cost you 8 supply. Regulars will cost you 6, militia will cost you 4, and civilians will cost you 2. The more
have you got like the thing for this, like in terms of seeing what we have here? Or
Yeah. I'll send it to you all.
Because I'm having a hard time
visualizing it all. I will post it in the Discord or the WhatsApp group so you've got a view on it. But I've got a spreadsheet here to keep viewing how many you have of each. Resources wise, you'll start off with, I'll tell you now, you're going to have about 100 Temple Guard. You're going to have 100 Dragonborn, you're going to have 400 regulars, you're going to have 500 militia, and there's going to be about 1,000 civilians in there as well. Again, these are, you can get more of these depending on what you do. Again, you don't know how many people are coming towards you. That might be enough. It might not be enough. What's going to happen if you find out who's coming for you, it'll probably be a sort of some random rolls to see what sort of quality of guys are coming towards you, what you're going to get and stuff like that. Just give it that. So 100 get, 100 Dragonborn. All right. Let's do that. So that's that. Okay, right. Casualties, when you do get into combat, will just each death will cost you a morale point. You start off at 100, the lower you go, you roll on tables. If you get to 75, then 50, then 25. And, if you get to 0, then you have, you're overrun and you've got to try and escape. Okay, so that's it pretty much. There will be, again, morale stuff is more important during combat, so I'll talk about that when we get to that point. Again, for now, it's just sort of getting things ready for what's coming ahead. Oh yes, so there's a secret table which I'm going to roll on. It won't be for a bit, but at some point I'm going to start rolling dice on this, and it's something you need to find out about, or if you don't, I'm just going to keep on rolling on it, and things will happen because of that and stuff. So it's something you need to sort of kind of, find out about. Basically, if you don't find out about it, then this happens. With regards to as things are going on, I want this to be somewhat what's the word? It's not going to be super easy. All right, it's not going to be unless you guys break it, which I hope you won't. But I just sort of
last time.
Yeah. I want it to be sort of it's a big part, it's a big thing, and therefore there is potential for NPC and PC casualties on this. For example, when battle does course, you can sort of put yourself in with the troops. But if you do that and something happens, then you could potentially become a casualty with them and stuff. So it's things you've got to sort of weigh up. Again, we'll talk about that when we get to there. Okay, so I will give you this here so you know what you've got. Morale, by the way. Again, it's something that we'll have for the next time. You can give yourself double rations. That will increase morale. Standard rations are just as they are. You can even cut rations, or if you can cut rations, but if you cut rations, then that reduces your morale, and therefore the table will be rolled on. Other things like if you can inspire people with speeches to help sort of with morale. You'll be able to do raids against the enemy and stuff again, help with morale and get you things and things like that as well. Okay, so let me copy and paste this. I wonder if I could do this into this chat or not. Let me give us a world. So I said 100 Temple Guard, 100 Dragonborn, 400 regulars, 500 conscripts, and 1,000 civilians. Which should be, if I've done my math right, 210. Yeah, okay. Copy. Well, actually, I could just screen grab it. It'll probably be easier that way. Print screen. Copy. Which chat would you prefer it in? This chat or the campaign RP chat?
Probably campaign.
Campaign chat. Okay. Right. There you go. So that is your current. How much it's going to cost you? 7,200 is your current supply. What it's going to cost you to get to have these chaps. You currently have 36,000 when it comes to supplies. So you're all right for. I don't know what the math on that is. Let me see. Calculate. Calc.
I haven't seen anything come through the chat yet.
It should be on
So
the.
it's in
TLOS campaign RP.
The
Okay,
Discord.
got it.
Oh, on
I just tagged
Discord.
you on
I
it.
thought you were sending it to WhatsApp like we asked.
Oh, sorry.
No?
Oh, I thought you meant the.
Well,
Hmm.
if we keep it in
I
this
mean-
chat, then people can see it. They're on the, if they come in the server.
Divided by 7200 equals. Okay. So that'll last you just under a week. So you've you need to go out, get more supplies, is obviously important. You can cut rations again if you wish, and it will last you longer.
We can convoy civilians out.
Say that again.
We can evacuate some of the civilians.
You can again, but obviously you need civilians to help you with things. But yeah, you can evacuate to get less mouths to feed. It's up to yourselves, really. And again, it's up to yourselves how you want to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's up to you how you want to go from here, what you want to do, what actions you want to take. For brevity, I'm just going to say Kiamat's just sort of, happy to smugly happy to let you sort of kind of do what you want to do, and he will be there should you need any assistance. He's sort of taken himself off into one of the sort of kind of houses to take residence, hold court, as it were.
So, biggest problem we've got is information as well as supplies. So I would suggest that Eldarith and the two and Darabel and his brother should go out scouting, possibly taking any other scouts they have available that are any good, to just kind of get an idea of what if there's anything closer, anything where things are that are coming towards us. So set pickets and so on.
Sir, yes, sir.
I would suggest, I said, if anyone has a better idea.
I do have some. I've got your tokens and stuff. So if you want to go off places, then I can sort of move your little tokens over and. So, yeah. So whereabouts do you want to start moving for your investigations, and who's going with you? You, Saravel, and Eldrith. Oh, and Saren.
So Zaren's a rogue rather than a ranger. Will she be?
Yeah.
I would have thought that wouldn't necessarily be her sort of best place.
No, that wouldn't be my sort of forte, so to speak, not
No.
scouting.
Okay, yep, that's
So
fine.
Elderith plus the brothers, plus if there's any scouts available within the troops.
Okay.
So reinforce them and set pickets.
Yep. Okay, you do have, so if you look here, you've got I haven't got them on the main map, but you've got sort of fortified towers that surround that you can put people in for early sort of warning systems. If you wish, you can sort of send guys off there to take on guard
If you put
duty.
a small party out to each tower, sort of like maybe a squad to each tower, just to keep an eye on things. Because if they're at the top of the towers, they'll have good line of sight. But then the scouting part would be to push out a bit further and just try and sanitize the area and see if there's anyone watching us and see if there's any sign of approaching troops.
Okay.
And go from there, yeah. And if you push out as far as any of the villages, you can warn them that they need to evacuate because there's trouble coming.
They will need to. Well, this is another one. They're not the most socially able.
I know.
So if you want them to sort of gain people, you
no,
may have to
focus on scouting.
Yep.
We'll let them focus on scouting, and we'll do that separately.
Okay.
So we need to talk to the High Paladin about this anti-magic field because it puts a kibosh on a lot of our better options.
That's a Barty thing. Well, actually, we can never have Gavin there.
That would probably be a you in a Barty thing.
Yeah,
I would think, because of the religious aspect and all. And maybe take along our friend with the wings. For leverage.
He is somebody you're gonna have to really look out for him as well. By the way, especially when battle commences. True,
but at the moment, make sure he's with someone that can handle him.
Yeah.
And I would say that Gadden could probably at least keep him on an even keel. And plus, the way that the High Paladin reacts to him, that may be leverage that you can use as part of the persuasion.
Well, by the way, even if we're using as part of the persuasion, like the times that we've succeeded on keeling him down have not been because of a relationship. It's been because of a high persuasion roll. So just as we're fine to do it, it's no problem. I'm just pointing it out.
Well, when we go to battle, that's fine. With him, he's just there to keep the paladin sort of on side.
Yeah. So
as leverage more than anything else.
So then we'll handle most of the magic stuff, I guess. So I guess
Yeah.
what I didn't see here, Matt, is I didn't see any items or options related to how we could bolster and support magical defense and whatnot, because that wasn't that. Yeah. I think most of it has been supply and people thing. So
I didn't want I didn't want the over, like, I had grand ideas for all kinds of craziness, but then I was like, it's going to get too in depth. So it's, what's coming for you is going to be sort of effectively lots of basic. You're not going to have big monsters with lots of magic and stuff attacking you. It's just going to be a regular sort of army coming towards you and stuff. So you won't need to worry about loads of. There will be certain things,
but we don't. But we know that. Our characters won't know that, which is probably why I guess the scouting thing's the first thing. However, in character, like. Gadden would probably be up the wazoo about preparing for the worst case scenarios. Unfortunately,
plus that could be a good force multiplier for us. At the end of the day, we don't know how many people are coming, so magical options.
So we're going to go with the worst,
and to reinforce the morale of our people, because nothing makes people feel better than seeing their enemies getting fireballed from above.
Okay.
With that said, I think the only to make your life easier, because what I can see might be happening is like the whole Rolodex of what we're gonna do. But actually, we'll keep it simple for now and stick to on task with the magical defense first. But then I think because I'm pretty sure that the team would have said let's do some scouting first, because we're gonna all do this like in group, I guess meeting stages, meeting one, then disperse, then come back, meeting again, and so we can reconnoiter and get the information. we're going to do these two things, but once we figured out what the magic is, we're not going to do anything else other than knowing how to turn it on and off and finding a way to, have a quick kill switch, because that was paralytic for both me and Barty. So,
But also for our favourite ranger who had a magic bow.
he had other things.
Okay, yeah, so you're, by all means, you can talk to High Paladin, try and see how you can get things sort of changed, if you will. Look for other things. It's it's completely up to yourselves if you want to sort of have a mooch around and sort of wherever your mind takes you, we can sort of try and accommodate it.
It said about so we've got a certain amount of supplies. Can we gather supplies as well as recruitment?
Yeah.
As recruits, yeah.
Yeah, well, so that's going to be a separate sort of task. So you have you've got, where's my tab? There we go. You've got obtain supplies. So you basically you can get, depend for every 100 civilians, you get 1d100. Actually, I'm doing that for day. We're gonna say your supplies because I think it's gonna run out too fast. Your supplies will last. Let me see. Where's the sheet? Where's my sheet? There we go. Okay. Yeah. So you've currently got 36,000. What you currently have with the civilians in the keep and everything, I will say it will last you 10 days, so it'll be double what it is. So it'll last you 10 days. A guard will cost you 8, so that will last him for 2 days. So it's 16, costs you 2 days. So you understand, yeah? So each thing will give him 2 days worth of supplies, effectively.
Right, so we've got 36,000 in total. We currently have we're using
Currently got a week and a half.
7,200.
I think he just changed that out to make it 10 days.
Yeah, so you can have 10 days. You can have 10 days on it. Yeah, you can have 10 days. So I'll say each thing it's doubled now. So when you go to obtain supplies per 100 civilians, you can get a D100 times 10 per attribute success. Obviously the fields will only have a certain amount of supplies. I'll roll on it and then we'll know when it's out effectively, but you can sort of send them out with somebody sort of helping them to sort of, get it, or you can just send them out on their own, but you won't get the times 10. This D100 per day on their own, or if you've got somebody with them sort of helping them, then you get that times 10 for sort of organizing things, organizing them and organizing things. Investigation, it's just, if you're reconnaissance, you got to do some stealth checks, obviously do some investigation rolls, if you're within the area and you want to investigate things. Reinforcements, it's literally going to be a case of how long it takes you to get there, how long it'll take you to get back, if you want to wait around more to sort of kind of persuade more, or if you want to say, look, this is what I want, do some persuasion rolls, bugger off back in time. It's completely up to yourselves. There's no strict rules. These are just sort of kind of guidelines, so I know, where we can go. Yeah.
So my suggestion at the moment would be, if we can figure out how to get the magic field down, we have Barty who can teleport as far as he can see, correct? So your line of sight, or if you know something. Is that correct?
As long as I know the area, it's like pretty much limitless.
Can you do it line of sight as well? So if you have like if you're at the top
yeah,
of the
but
towers,
it would be a waste though. Like
Well, my point was, if from the top of one of the higher towers you can see some of these nearby villages, that you and Arno could port over and try and persuade them to send reinforcements and supplies and to evacuate, and that would reduce the amount of travel time needed for each of that. So you could hit 2 or 3 villages in the time it would take to hit one.
I can only do it once per day.
Okay, so one way or 2 ways?
One way.
Okay. Can we grab that map
depending on
which
where we're
shows
going, it might
the
not be.
hamlets?
that again?
Is there any?
Can we grab
There-
that other map which showed the villages around closer up, or was it this one? I'm losing track of all the maps we had.
I
So
think
it's
it
Mistwind.
should be this one. I think you're on. It should be the
Yeah,
closest.
so Mistwind and Stonebury and so on.
Do we have
Okay.
any horses or any transport?
Yeah,
like that?
so if so I've got this sort of, if you were to go to so I've got some basic days here. So for one of these small settlements, it's probably going to take you 2 days. So 1 day there, do a bit of persuading, and a day back. For it's about 5 miles per sort of hexagon, and you can do 22 in a day. So you're there's like 4 days if you want to go to sort of like, the Ristha Cape. Whitewood will maybe take you 7 days. If you want to go to Storm Shield or Star Shield, it'll take you about 2 weeks. 7 days maybe to get there, another 7 days to get back, and obviously that doesn't include sort of persuasion time if you want to stick around and try and get more. Yeah.
Okay, so suggestion. So bearing in mind the line of sight rule and only once a day, could Barty send me and Arno and Seren to say Waterside if he could see it clearly enough from the top of one of the towers, and then there we could persuade them to evacuate and send some resources and guards to the bastion, borrow horses and ride to Mistwind to repeat, and then to Stonebury.
But you've been to Waterside. There's nobody in Waterside. It's completely
Okay, sorry,
yeah,
but Mistwind and Stonebury anyway.
Yeah.
And like maybe that sort of thing, and then come back via say Pilgrim's Rest and the Sanctuary.
You can probably see Stonebury from the southern tower. You would see sort of the eastern tower. You see Pilgrim's Rest. From the western tower, you see Quickfield. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see. They're not super.
Barty doesn't need line of sight though. Like,
No, it's as long as I'm familiar with it, I can take you there.
Yeah, but if we haven't been there, I'm just trying to think about if there's ones we haven't been to get.
You've been to Quickfield technically. You've been to Lightview technically because you walked through. You've been to Whitewood before. You would have potentially. Actually, I don't think you went into Star Shield. To be fair.
Okay, so
We
my
could get
thinking is, if the three of us went to Whitewood, if you took the three of us to Whitewood, or sent the three of us to Whitewood with from outside the magic area,
well, how do we know how far that radius is? Like, we've not been told, have we?
No,
we
you
kind
haven't.
of
We've
start
just not been
walking
allowed
away.
to leave the
Yeah, you were.
Well, yeah, we haven't found out.
sanctuary.
Yeah, you were locked in basically because of all the stuff that was going on. Yeah.
So if we can't get the High Paladin to turn off the field, we walk out until we're outside of the field. He sends the three of us out to Whitewood.
Or use the room.
Could do, yeah, that's true. But if we can't turn off, we get outside the field, whichever way. He sends the three of us to Whitewood. We start there by trying to persuade them to send some resources and troops back to the Bastion to reinforce it, and they take appropriate actions to protect themselves. We then borrow by whatever some horses. We go back to Lightview, Quickfield, Stonebury, Pilgrim's Rest, and then back to the Bastion over the next couple of days.
Yep. I've taken into account that you've probably got horses and stuff for your travel times and stuff like that.
I don't know, but I'm just assuming we steal horses there, rather than expecting Barty to teleport horses, which might be a bit much for him.
If they fit into a 10-foot cube,
Okay,
we're good to go. They just take up one of the character counts. Like,
that's cool. I wasn't
get
sure how
really
it weighted.
small
That was all.
ones.
Ponies.
Yeah,
Called Bill.
Hello. Well, small one's fine for Arno.
DM Fiat. In terms of where we can go to,
Shetland pony.
yeah, we can get around the not knowing a place particularly well as long as we can get like a really good description of it, or like off a map, for example, its location.
I'm just thinking Whitewood's probably as far out as we want to go if we want to get back in a reasonable period of time. That was all.
Yeah, and if it's
If
got
we
somewhere
start-
that might have a permanent teleportation circle and we've got the address for it, we can just get there, no trouble.
And as long
Does
as we've got the sending stones, one at each end, then we can always send a message to you if we need to get back in a hurry, or you can send a message to us.
Yeah.
to update things. But my thought was just that the three of us, while you stay back doing prep, and the other guys are scouting, us three with persuasion and so and intimidation and whatever else, are probably best suited to go out and start to pull resources and reinforcements back.
Okay, so I want you to tell me, and again, if there's things that you want to do that aren't on these actions lists, I'm happy to sort of go with whatever and stuff. Again, just guidelines on things. So just need what you are going to do for day one. What's your day one actions? What are you each doing?
Field down.
Yeah. That's a priority.
Field. Me and Garden and Barty will do the field down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the first day, if the guys go out skirting, and if me and Arno and Seren take groups out to forage, just for the first day, and then the second day we look at spreading out a bit more and doing other stuff. But we just kind of want to set ourselves in and do some gathering just to get everyone in a better place, because siege.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll also throw as you have currently will not start dwindling until you're under siege. So we'll say that sort of that stuff you've got. It's just about building that number up, so you don't have to worry about. And then your open fields and stuff, so people can go back and forth, take things and stuff.
Yeah.
So supplies isn't an issue. This is stuff. So you've got that you can have. It's just basically yeah.
So if we say the first day, the scouting goes out, the magic users are looking into the magic field, and the rest of us are sort of bolstering the efforts to gather resources.
Okay, let's see. We've got Barty, Gad, and Tharvel, Seren. So Arno. 1, 2, 3, 4, Lance. So, Barty, as you and Gaddon are going to anti-magic field duty.
Yes.
Yep.
So we're gonna first step High Paladin, see if he can just dismiss it.
Okay. Tharval, what are you up to? You're going scouting with.
Yeah. So again, I would assume they need to be going quite far out, and they need to be going into or close to enemy territory to do so. So I would assume they'd probably have to be going towards the Bastion and the Morning Star.
Can you do your character?
Do you mean the Tower of Nangoth?
Can I do what?
I've put your character there. Can you move him around? Yep. Okay. Yeah. So place him where you want to go to.
I'll say the Bastion probably.
So you're going in that direction. Now, that is going to take you, so that's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's 1 day. 5. It's going to take you about 3 days to get there. So it'll take you 3 days there and 3 days back. And that doesn't include, obviously, if you're waylaid and things like that. So.
Well, what I was going to suggest is if Barty isn't going to use his teleport
today,
he could cut that time in half, at least the time to get out there.
Yeah, it's true.
He could send us out.
Can you? Do you have to go?
No, I've got to travel with you.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Problem.
Okay.
It's a 2-day trip at least. Yeah.
Well, instead of bringing them back, but you can send them out. I could give you a good description of the Bastion area, of the areas around the Bastion, because I
go with them.
Worked out of there.
He still has to go with you.
He still has to go with them.
Yeah, still got to go with them.
Okay.
I can send an object. So if Gary's being super kind, maybe I could send one person on their own.
Okay.
What about an object? Something in it.
yeah. Send a 10-foot by 10-foot storage
Trojan horse,
or a ring with a hobbit in it.
Yeah. If Gary,
we need him persuasion.
Yeah, if Matt's happy with it, I'm happy to send you out
Yeah,
on your
all
way.
right. I'm happy to do things as long as it doesn't come to bite me on the ass later, and you're all like, I'm going to teleport somebody later on. I reserve the right. I reserve the right to nullify
Yeah.
this. This is not
Well,
binding.
we can say
this
that
is
they,
not
they
precedent.
do it with some help from.
Yeah.
We'll say that there's a lot of fiddling and faffing around and
Yeah.
some help from other people within the keep. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll give you if you want to send if you want to send one person, obviously it's probably not wise sending them Tharval straight into the center of the bastion.
No, but I can describe a place nearby which would be safe because that's kind of where I lived for however long.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So do we want to send you guys out, or should we send Elderith ahead, who would have some experience, and you guys out and she meets you partway? Because she could scout around and come back to meet you, and then you could adapt from there.
I would prefer that for main actions for you guys to do it, not to sort of, because we start throwing in too many NPCs and stuff like that. It's going to be hard to sort of track everything. So,
but you did say, did say NPCs were part of it. So
yeah, I mean, I think for the time being, it's basically Tharval and Serval. They're going out scouting to, as you said, we want to get an idea of the enemy's numbers, where they're coming from, and things like that. The Bastion of the Morning Star, because we are aware that's where the
corruption has popped up.
The corruption has popped up. Seems to be the best sort of area to start that sort of search.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not to, for the time being, it's not to engage, but potentially on the way back, if they sort of stumble across camps or stuff like that, they
or set traps in woods and stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay. Are you going? Cool. So you're going. Are you doing this on your own thing and having people coming to meet you? Are you going to go with a group? Are you going to bring some of the men with you?
I think they're just going to go on their own. They work better alone.
So is it just going to be because Barty can? We're allowing one person to go.
Yeah, which is why I suggested if I send Elderith forward and you guys ride out, and she can scout and then meet you part way, and then you can then sort of from halfway there can decide what to do.
Actually, to be fair, because if the thing is, if you're doing on the horses, obviously it's not going to be as sneaky. If you were just to ride down there, it would probably take half the time because you're on a horse. So how many days did I say? 3 days. So
3.
Say a day and a day and a half with a horse on a horse.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, if we do that, then
just ride out.
Just ride out is probably the easier way to do it.
So if you guys ride
and then
out
basically once they get to sort of a certain area, they'll
go sneaky.
Right.
Yeah.
Teleportation
and then
is very dangerous.
Yeah, and obviously, just bear in mind horses are loud and things like that. So just you're not going to get your stealth rolls until you dismount. And
why is Cyril in a lonely forest south of Waterside?
What?
Cyril's icon.
Oh yeah, there he is down the bottom there on the boat.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, sorry, that's right. Yeah,
Cyril's not a runner.
Yeah, he's still there. I'll stick him over there.
Cyril's suffering from middle child syndrome. No one remembers where he is, and no one cares.
Okay.
He's the new Gregor.
So you're making your way down by horse, scouting by horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On your own, or who are you bringing with you, Ceraville?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you want Eldrith with you as well?
Yeah, we'll bring Eldrith as well.
It just makes sense, the 3 rangers, the ones that are scouting, because you can all stealth. And an extra bow never hurts, right?
True.
Okay.
And so I've got a Spectre the Monster Hunter just in case.
It's whenever Matt mentions investigation, and I was like, oh my god, it's like that's the worst thing that I've got. So I was like, Ceraville's okay at investigation, but having other people there with good investigation is not a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Eldrith isn't great at investigation, unfortunately.
It'd be like when we're in the dungeon. It's like Ceraville or Tharval running about in the dragon's egg cave, opening chest but finding nothing.
Bang, bang, bang.
It was just really frustrating. Like there's
Okay.
Oh dear. Okay.
Saren, what are you doing?
I'm not really sure what I can be doing, to be honest.
Well,
Um,
I have an idea.
Do you want me to-
I think you should go sneaky and follow Mr. Stabby, Mr. What's his name? Follow his minions around. You have no idea what he's like, and you could be as sticky as hell around him.
Yeah,
The question is, you're not that kind of rogue, are you?
No.
Your highest stats, Saren, are stealth, sleight of hand, deception, intimidation, and you've got dex, acrobatics, wisdom, which are pretty high as well. You've got the highest out of the group for stealth.
I think personally, like Gadden would be like, because everybody else is doing things, like between him and Barty, the two things we have to do is reinforce whatever magical and interior defense we have, and then sabotage the fuck out of Kiamat. So, I guess
We don't want to
that's where
sabotage him
Saren really
immediately
comes in.
because we kind of need him to be fighting.
well, we want to know what he's up to. No, this is the key thing. We need to know what he's up
Exactly.
to. Rather than sabotage,
Exactly.
we need intel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that my angle for this is find out, basically have an inventory of all of his forces in there, and then basically figure out where we need to find a way to effectively castrate magically all of the mages there, and Saren will probably be able to do that, because if we can if we know if they're sorcerers, for instance, then we can't really do much about it. But if they're wizards, different story. We'll cut their books up. We'll do what we need to do in the time that it's needed, or something like that. We have to come up with it. We have to find a clever plan to hinder them and have a kill switch when we can. Because I just no. I mean, obviously, was it Lance that said it, or was it Barty? Yeah, Barty said it. That he knew of the fact that Kiamat the last time round took, what was it? Jorathrasta was through this kind of thing. So, and I guess does Barty know verbatim exactly how it happened?
Yeah, he'll know
from a
this.
book?
I think from what he did, the role he did last time, he sort of understands.
And that
Arno also saw this in what's his name's dream. He saw it unfold in Gregor's
Interesting.
dream. Like, I saw the whole thing unfold, so that's why he's very, very not happy.
wait, but did Barty say that out loud to the High Paladin?
He hasn't told anybody. He told the High Paladin.
Oh,
No, he told
yeah.
the whole paladin on it, so like
Got
a
it.
little aside.
So in that case, during that time, Barty would have probably told the whole team, I imagine, on this exact situation. And then that would trigger the conversation from Arno coming around, confirming that this has happened. So which then it enforces what we're gonna do inside the Temple of Devotion.
Yes.
And that's going to be, we have to find a way to figure out what he's up to. There's going to be a tick list, right? There'll be things that happen categorically during the time that he's probably going to do again. So
Yeah, because if it worked once, it's got to work again, right?
So yeah, and I think, Matt, what we need to do is then say, okay, do we have this checklist, and is Kiamat doing this checklist? Yes, or thereabouts, because then that way we need to come up with a counter strategy for him for when he decides that he's going to turn against us, and he probably might do. I mean, obviously Theron Ball's coming along, and he doesn't like Theron Ball, but you can only throw a Dragon Ball as far as you can actually trust it. So, and you can't do it at all unless, of course, you can. So yeah, that's what I think. Saren should be sneaky. If there's an opportunity. Oh, and the other thing is that if we encounter a situation where one of the mages is doing some dirty, like Saren needs to have the opportunity to slit the throat and hide the body.
What's your perception roll like, Bertha? 1 minute. So let's see, investigation and perception wise, you're on a 6 for perception. Investigation. Investigation 0. You won't be investigating much.
But what about insight? Fuck investigation for a minute. Just insight would probably be better.
Insight is 1. She's got 1 for
Wow,
insight.
I've got better insight and investigation than her. That's impressive.
Yeah, well, like
Actually, I think I've got better perception.
You won't
So
see me, but I
essentially-
won't know
She
anything.
might still roll 20 though. Like,
True, but I think in this sense, we're probably gonna have to be the ones like Barty and Gadden are gonna have to be the ones to do the insight. Then afterwards,
Have you got the
once
tables?
we've confirmed it,
Because one of the reasons I did tables, so you've all got your highest scores, so you know who's good at what. So you can sort of put the best people in the right places. Not because I was trying to undermine you all. It's just so you can go right. These have all the best scores and stuff. So you can, you've got the best people for the best jobs.
no.
What table is this?
Not that.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
table?
I was
Put them
about
on
to
the
say what
WhatsApp.
table.
The pictures I sent you pictures of all your. Each one of you's got your picture with your highest stats at the top.
I'm gonna be honest, that one there gets disappeared amongst everything else that we put in. I was gonna ask if we could actually put it in the campaign one, but it's
Go for the
fine.
media.
One sec.
Oh my god, the media is in. Actually, no, I've just seen it now. Okay,
I
good,
just
never
dropped it
mind.
in the campaign chat.
Thanks.
That's
Right.
a scary looking thing.
Okay. I'm just gonna see the chart. So it just
Never
looks
seen
like
this before.
yeah. I'll be honest.
Like I said, it was a
I mean-
Hal moment.
But it also but the thing is, some of this is quite straightforward anyway. Because if Saren was more of a, I'm gonna slit you very well, I just don't know how you want me to slit it. Then Barty and Gadden need to uncover what's going on, then point Saren to the dirty, the wet work. So
I am
At
the
the moment-
eraser.
So can I suggest that for day one, as I said, me and Seren and Arno, we take on taking out groups to encourage them to gather better. Because at the point in time, persuasion / intimidation is probably a better option for encouraging people than sneaking around and looking puzzled on day one.
Plus, the advantage of doing that is it makes Kiamat think that we are more concerned about the keep than him.
Than him, yeah. So he'll be complacent. He'll cock up if he thinks we're not focusing on him. So as long as you two can be sneaky in keeping an eye on things.
yeah.
So what's Saren doing then?
So me, Saren, and Arno, if Arno's okay with that, we're going to take groups out into the fields to gather supplies and just keep an eye on them in case
Okay.
anything naughty comes around.
Okay. So supplies. Okay. For the theories. All right. Awesome. Okay.
So apparently what I do best is intimidate people and break things.
And I
Funny that.
stabby things.
All right.
And intimidate them.
I'll be having Cyril with me as well.
Yep. Okay. So, I guess we'll start with Barty and Gadden because it's sort of maybe important because I doubt anybody's leaving here without the High Paladins say so anyway. So, everybody sort of takes themselves sort of off. The crowds disperse from the... Oh, I should put you on to... It's annoyed I can't got that. Let's do that. So everybody sort of disperses from the sort of central courtyard and sort of take themselves off. The High Paladin sort of is hanging back, sort of sitting on the statue in the middle of the courtyard, sort of straightens himself up, sort of pats down his sort of kind of cloak and stuff. His men sort of he waves his men off and they sort of kind of go off in different directions. He starts to walk in towards the main sort of kind of temple itself. You can go from there.
Mr. Paladin, sir.
We got Arno, always.
You
Always.
found me.
Always there in the trees. In the trees.
Tree.
He said, the High Paladin sort of lets out quite a large sigh and goes, "Yes, my friend, what can I do for you?"
Friend. The anti-magic field. Believe me and Brother Garden and many others would probably be able to buffer the defences here in the event of a siege if we're able to use our magic. Are you able to drop the field?
He roll me. Why do you need me to drop the field? It is our. He'll say, this field defends us from internal and external. If there's a siege coming, we need it up. Surely.
It all depends on the force coming to attack. I don't believe they're going to be wizards and magicians.
Roll me a persuasion. You can have advantage because there's the both of yous.
Did that click? Eee. Oh dear. But magic,
that was coming.
I'm good at magic.
Yeah, you've got your.
And at the moment, I feel useless and vulnerable.
You've got your little dice thing, don't you, that swap things out?
But is his
Oh
port
my-
dice not magic though?
Portent, yeah.
May have completely forgot about that.
No,
When was the last time we
is
slept?
it portent magic or is it skill?
It's. I guess it's magic because it's my portent dice. It's me seeing into the future and reacting to
Oh.
So you can't even use that.
Okay,
That's crazy.
he's not sort of. He's just. I understand what you ask, but I feel that so many bad decisions have been made already. Look, our enemy is in our walls. If I do this and something goes wrong, then it will be all down to me.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
exactly. They're already here. The very thing you were defending against has occurred.
And so I should just leave these defenses. I should go, fuck this, and turn everything off, and let the rest of the enemy take this place.
No,
No,
allow
they won't take it. We overwhelm them anyway.
allow
So-
those inside
Cool.
to do some good that can while they can.
Hmm.
I could stand on the walls in a week's time and throw rocks. It's not going to do anyone any good. I could be
And I'm not
proactive.
particularly impressive with a mace. I mean, I can beat things up, but it's not. You know what the pious ones here are like. They won't be using it.
Gavin,
We have to find a way.
I understand you're not wishing to make, more bad decisions, but compounding them is not going to help.
okay.
Also, just
Can be of
ask, do you
service.
have any other spellcasters in here? Because surely
It's below.
you can't have an army and not have spellcasters here.
He does have spellcasters. Some of the officers from the guard are paladins as well and have magical abilities. There are a few. Some of the refugees who've come in are you're going to have some sort of magical users within them as well. Without his ledger, he couldn't tell you how many or where. But yeah, there are magic users in this place. I will give you another persuasion roll, and Brother Gadden, you can roll it because you've got a slightly higher persuasion, and again, you can have advantage on it.
Come on. Oh, lovely. Like, wants me to close my character sheet. What the fuck is this shit? Hello? It's me. I'm the
I'm the one who rolls.
problem.
Okay, 15. So he won't tell you how to turn them off, but because he doesn't want to be held responsible for the downfall of the thing. But he will sort of point you to where the sort of runic wards are for you to sort of look at. And
Actually, that's quite fun. So, roll with me.
yeah.
Thank you, High Paladin. I appreciate that you don't necessarily want to take down the wall, the wards. Me and Barty will figure something out because your security and the security of this entire bastion is important to you. I just would like you to sleep on it and consider how much of your retinue happens to be of a spell casting nature and how much you cuck yourself out of an opportunity to have a fireball in the field of enemies.
Okay.
Good day.
He sort of looks at you and he looks like he's pondering it, and he sort of nods his head sort of thoughtfully, and walks off into the sort of main complex itself. We've got Danny on TikTok going, who the hell's the High Paladin? Where have you been,
So-
Danny?
Paying
Where
attention.
have you been?
So, 1 second. I didn't realize I got that. 1 second. Barty, we should look
Yes.
at the runes and figure out how we can manipulate it so that we can cast the spells as well without having to take it down.
That would probably be the best for everybody.
But then afterwards, we can pass it as a secret code amongst all the other spellcasters. But also, we might be able to use it as a way to lure any potential traitors to the mix, and then whoever's around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're complicating things to an extraordinary degree. Again, let's just cast magic. Let's get our magic back, and then worry about
Okay,
everything else
fine.
afterwards.
Fine.
Okay. So he points you. Basically, you've got a ward within sort of one of the towers. We'll just say they are. Let's draw a circle. Boop. Oh, actually, a minute. There is animated things around here somewhere. Actually, I'll just do this. Okay, so there is one on this tower. There's one here. One in this sort of bastion here. One here. And then you've got
Ooh, flashies.
Oh, that's different. Biz.
Ring of fire. Ring of fire.
yeah. So you've got them in these areas, sort of. Then they sort of like bubble out around the complex itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to copy and paste people into
What
this
tower
map.
looks like the most?
So bear with me 1 minute while you carry on.
I can drop people. I can drop.
Okay.
I
cool.
can drop people in.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Which one of them looks important? As in like a big tower that looks like it's
So you've got
Well, the one at the top
because
there.
I can't
so the
tell.
one of the, so what you've got in the sort of the northern sector, you've got like the complex is sort of broken down into sort of sectors. The sort of northern sector has a effectively like a keep. It's got the main temple is in the top there, but you also have and I wouldn't measure it in feet because it's not going to be, it's meant to be bigger than it shows it, but you've got this main sort of northern effectively like keep or redoubt, or it's a bastion. That's what they call a bastion and stuff. So it's there, and it's quite an imposing, quite a well defended point of the complex itself in the north. There is also a sort of smaller temple in the south with a high tower, and then the other ones are just sort of
Is
with
it the highest? Is it the highest tower there?
I would say the highest is in the north.
Let's go to the north then.
So yeah, I was gonna say let's go north and see where we go with it.
Okay, so you're
So
making.
we're gonna head to the north tower.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There. Are you? How are you going to go through? Are you going through the? Are you going straight through
Quickest
the
way.
straight through the temple complex and through the gardens, into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. As you. Oh, it's Ryan -1 for.
Sorry, I hit a button back.
Okay, so you sort of make your way through. As you're sort of going through the main doors of the temple complex, you see some of the red witches sort of standing there with a couple of the dragonborn guard who haven't gone with Kiamat. They seem to be sort of cornering off that room, that section of the room where you obviously know the anti-magic field isn't sort of effective. So they're sort of keeping that place guarded, if you will. So if you were to go in, it's maybe sort of, we didn't really sort of explain where it is, but it's in the complex. We'll say it's in the western part of the complex.
Okay.
There's like a tunnel, and they're sort of standing in that sort of little doorway that you made. They're sort of stopping people from going in there. To the tower, there are guards and stuff around, but you're for the time being, you're good enough just to go where you wish.
We'll make a mental note of it and head forth because we can't do shit there.
Rhubarb.
By the way, I can't move any other icons like Seren and whatnot for some bizarre reason. It just stops me.
Okay.
And I got 2 Arnos in the field. Hooray!
T Arnos. Okay, so you're going up here then to this one here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You make your way through the main temple itself, and it's sort of grand walkways and pillars, and you come to a large keep bastion. It's as big as some castles you've seen before. They have this huge tower sort of looming over you, and it's got this very long sort of stone walkway that goes up into sort of its belly, effectively. You walk in, and there are guards. There are guards sort of around, but seem to be happy enough to let you do what you want to do. And then there's a staircase that sort of kind of winds around and takes you up to the top of the tower itself.
Okay. Barty, for wizard, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can learn a spell or something like that, right? You don't magically have to do it. You can learn how to do it by watching or reading a scroll or looking at a particular
Yeah, I
piece
can
of
copy
magic,
it from a
right?
scroll or from someone else's spell book or something like that. For sure.
But not and it doesn't say specifically about runes, does it?
No.
Okay.
So yeah. So I need a copy of the spell. I can't just
Okay, fine.
see
And
the
then-
product of a spell and then copy
But
it.
would your in your spell book, would it be like, say for instance, if we know it's an do you have anti-magic?
No. But if it's a particular spell like a beefed up forbiddance, for example, we can find a copy of that, then I can learn it as long as it's of an appropriate level.
All right, because I don't have anti-magic either, and I couldn't tell you that, which is why I was like, the idea of going to the tower to learn how the spell works, and then we can go, okay, we can work it without having to be cut out is the thing. So, okay, fine. I guess we could just.
I've got Dispel Magic. Is that
But
what you
use
mean?
the dispel. No, because basically what I was trying to do is say we can learn how to not turn off the thing by figuring out how to exempt, because it Matt, I don't know if you've done this, we've had this before, but there's a way where if the red wizards, what is it, the
Red witches.
the red witches can do it, then so we could effectively figure it out. That's how I was ruling a rule of cool sort of thing about it.
Yeah.
If so I is there a way where we can on the glyph so we can
You're breaking up, Jay.
Yep, breaking up.
You're glitching.
Yeah.
1 second. How about now? Can you hear
Yep.
me?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
So, how there is a way where if we can learn how to be basically, exempt ourselves from magic, that way we don't turn off the magic field, we can cast spells and we can fuck up the red witches. And then we can pass the same thing on. Basically what I said earlier on. Can we do that? Yes or no?
There we go. Animated.
No.
So you can stick these over here. So we've got. Okay. Sorry, say that again. I was being distracted by portals. You are trying to.
Can we find a way to cast a spell without taking it down?
Yeah, we want to
Can you hear
mess
me?
the runes to allow us to cast magic, but not.
You could investigate. You could
witches.
maybe investigate the runes, or sort of have a look, use Arcana or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arcana. I'm
Failing
going
that,
to
we're gonna-
Arcanize the runes.
Failing that, we're going to turn it off.
Just scrub them out.
Yep.
I said 22 on my Arcana roll.
Yeah. Okay. So, for your knowledge, with your knowledge of magic, you can tell that these runes have been tampered with slightly. You can even see that within that sort of bluish hue that sort of kind of emanates from them, there's like a scarlet sort of flash now and again that comes from it, and you're pretty sure that the red witches are the ones that have are the reason why they can cast stuff and you can't. You would even hazard roll me a. It's just going to be history for memory, isn't it? History check. Roll me a history check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless it's a spell.
I'll give you advantage because there's both these. There's six red witches, and there's six sets of runes. So you're basically deduced that one of these red witches is connected to one of to these runes, and has control over it, and that's why they're able to cast things and you're not.
Would the High Paladin have known that they've tampered with it though already? Like
No,
when
because
when he saw them cast, or did he not see them cast?
I don't know, something you've asked him, I guess. He hasn't made any sort of he might, because
No, I don't think otherwise he would have said something.
Yeah, it's the stress of the situation and stuff. I don't think he's being sort of
Cool.
quite himself. I don't think. Yeah.
Oh.
So we discover this, and then Gadden looks at Barty, perplexed, to say, "Well, if you're right, then we can't dispel it because we have no ability in magic to do it, but we can fuck up the rune, give ourselves a leeway to cast spells, but also it kind of stops one of the witches from not being able to cast the spell. So we should use this opportunity to do what we need to do here once we get rid of it."
I would say with your role, you are aware that you can, runics. You don't need magic to be have the ability to scroll runes or understand runic sort of scripts and things like that. There is potentially a way.
But we can get rid of it though.
You could.
Well, no, we might be able to just level the playing field and
alter it
tamper with it.
Yeah,
in our favour.
So you could potentially tamper with it.
Hang on. I mean, you can scrub out the. We
No,
can
no,
definitely scrub it out, right?
you
Like,
can't scrub
Let
it.
the man talk, Jace.
it-
Let the man talk.
It's they're etched into the sort of, you know, they're sort of kind of etched, and they're not like just written. They're sort of etched into the stone. There just has to be. There's obviously been an extra sort of line and added somewhere, or something added that sort of tampered
Yeah.
with it when it's being made. So it's not that you can just go up and go, it's
And
chalk,
then-
and spit in your finger and go.
No, he's already going to draw his mace out and he's going to break the whatever it is etched onto.
Okay.
No! Jace! Gavin! Have you already pulled
No,
your
yeah, the mace is
out?
out. No, Gadden's already got the mace out. and
Barty
he's like,
froze
gonna-
himself on Gavin. Like this weak little dick of a man.
What is your problem? Fuck, we were about to level the playing field and play magic, and you want to stop?
No, I can alter this. We can cast. Don't have to destroy it. We don't know what will
Well,
happen.
then, then do it then.
The magic field might stay. Give me a moment.
Okay, fine. Oh.
Honestly. It's like
Puts the
walking around
mace
with a
back.
child's toy.
Okay,
Like,
so
you just missed the luster.
yeah, so you basically and I'll just sort of, again for expediency, I'll just sort of tell you, you need to find out each of the witches has their own sort of symbol, a rune that sort of is a sort of personal to them, effectively, that they will no doubt wear on their person, on some sort of sigil or sort of necklace or something they'll have around them. You just need to know what that is, so you can find it within the rune script that's there, and then you need to be able to counter it with your own, so you can both do what you need to do.
Cool. So we need to find the rune that's corrupting this. Which one of those witches will hold? So we do need to do a little bit of sneaky, lucky.
So it's like you don't need to get anything from them. You just need to find out from what it is, so you can see. So basically, like you basically got effect. The rune is like it's like it's
I
spelled.
get it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a holy symbol.
Yeah, yeah.
Not on it.
Yeah, that's fine. So listen, save this. Let's just make sure we draw this rune that we're seeing here, so at least we know we have a reference for it. Because I can tell you right now, I'm blunt instrument, and I can't exactly go up to a red witch and say, "Excuse me, do you have the rune here, a picture?" Maybe we can get our good friends here with our little more light-handedness and knifey ears to do a bit of knife work.
But you just got to ogle their chest. They'll be wearing it somewhere prominently. We don't even have to speak to them. Hopefully.
Yeah, but then what happens next if you're like you see them? What are you gonna do?
It's like, hi. Good day for magic, eh? Oh, what a lovely necklace. And then you just remember what it looks like, and we come back and we find it's like a letter hidden amongst.
Okay.
What,
I don't know this like technical magic. I just know how to like pray to Bahamut
no,
and get
because
power.
you just
That's
woke
it.
up one day after a good prayer and could do it. You didn't have to study.
Exactly. I don't have your
Discipline is
skill
there.
issue. I don't have your skill issue until we get the magic sorted out. So come, remember
how-
this, and
how
then
about
we'll go
this?
down.
How about this? You leave the difficult thinking stuff to me, and you make sure I don't get murdered trying to do this. How about
That I
division of
can
labor?
definitely do. I
Wonderful.
can definitely do that.
Let's try that.
Yeah, he did look smart. Is what's his name? Is great. Wait, what's Niacel, is he around as well?
I thought you were babysitting him.
Yeah, that's why
Left-
Niacel must have
Left
been
him
with
in the
us,
first
right?
location.
Oh yeah, Niasil's with whoever you want them to be with at the minute. Yeah, so
Right, so Niacel's with us because we're looking after him.
Okay.
So he just looks at Niacel and he says, I don't. You and me were alike here. It's just big himbo of abilities. Just keep an eye on him as well because he is the key to all of our magical prowess. If we lose Barty, let's just say we might as well cut off our tongue and pray. Okay, and then he just looks around.
very
And
kind.
make sure you get it. And walks. He's walking out and going down the stairs, just thinking to himself along the way that if he had actually an ounce of fucking brain, he would be all right.
okay, so you guys are, I guess, going to go and talk to Saren. No, you're going to find Saren, I guess.
No, we're gonna find the
He's gonna
witch that has the sigil.
Well,
Aren't
we,
we?
we need to go witch hunting because we're going to need to gather as many sigils as we can if we're going to go to each
Yeah,
tower.
and I don't want it. Yeah, we're gonna learn that we need to find the witches, learn the sigils, then match them accordingly. So then that way we know how to combat them.
Okay.
Because we still want the
Yeah.
field up.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you are walking down the stairs. So we'll move on to somebody else. Tharaval. Saravel, you are going to have to get permission to leave because at the minute it's lockdown, and you currently can't leave. So you need to go and get permission from the High Paladin or get somebody to let you out. So it's up to you how you want to do this.
Let us out.
20 please.
I think I saw a ballista on the wall.
Yeah. I heard.
Right
It's
What
like-
a callback! What a callback!
Once per character.
That's what happens. You hear when you're walking through the streets, you hear like this word is like, did you hear about the guy who like shot himself through the air with a ballista? What a hero!
Sure, hold this.
Oh my beer. Okay, so Tharavel and Saravel will obviously go and find the High Paladin to talk to. I can't move my token, or I don't
Okay.
know where the High Paladin is.
Yeah, so he's sort of in there. Okay. So you make your way into the sort of main temple itself. The High Paladin is sort of nailed before a dais, and there's sort of a Bahamut's sigil sort of above you. Lots of things, and he's praying. He hears you coming, so he turns his head slightly, mutters a few words, stands up, and sort of turns to you and says, Master Elves, what can I do for you?
Both Tharavel and Saravel sort of put their arms across the chest and sort of in unison bow. Our Lord High Paladin, we request to be given leave from the Bastion. We wish to venture out towards the enemy's front line and scout. We believe that we can bring back vital intelligence of the numbers and force that we may face in the days to come. Will you grant us this?
Roll me persuasion. You can have advantage, and I may give you a little bit extra because I think he's probably okay with that. So roll me.
Who has the better persuasion?
Probably Cyril, from
I
memory.
think Saravel's does.
Well, if you say he's okay with it, does he even need to roll persuasion?
Yeah, because I kind of like the idea of there being not ones sort of thing going really badly. It just adds a little flavor. No, yeah, okay. he's
Matt,
fine.
you're a sadistic twat.
Hasn't like rolled
all the
1 year.
all the best
Right.
all the best things have happened because of not ones in this party.
He's
We're in
alright.
March and he's rolled enough to get him through to like 2029, haven't you, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah. So he just sort of he doesn't even just he just sighs and goes, yes, fine. There are horses in the stables. Please return quickly with as much information as you can.
Tharavel and Saravel sort of like look at each other, kind of like shocked, like, okay, and still like sort of like stand there, kind of staring at the High Paladin.
He looks at you and he says, look, I may be a fool, I may be an old fool, but I know who I can trust, and I can trust you both.
Um,
Wow.
both the elves sort of they smile and they nod. We appreciate that, High Paladin, but forgive us. I think you kind of spoiled our fun because even if you said no, we probably would have snuck out anyway.
Yeah, and he sort of, you see that for the first time, and this whole time he smiles. He says, "Exactly."
Yeah. So they again sort of smile. And say we will help as much as we can. We will bring back what information is important.
Okay.
We will save this bastion.
Okay, so let's go back to this map then. Oh, wrong one. So you are making your way where? Sorry, where are you going to? Where's your furthest point? Where are you aiming for?
I think the bastion in the Morning Star basically is.
So the outskirts. Now, where
Yeah.
are you just going to
survivors.
are you just going to hell for leather down there on your horse and not stopping? Are you going to leave your horses anywhere? What's your plan?
I think we're basically going to get to a point.
Where's that point?
Where we believe so it would probably be possibly to that sort of junction, on the sort of outskirts of the forest where it sort of splits three ways. And then
southwest of the town, Langdoth.
Yeah, and then basically from then, therefore, they'll go by foot and be more stealthy.
Okay, you're leaving your horses there. Are you tying them up and stuff then? Or?
Yeah, well, I would tie the horses up.
Okay, so that is going to take you, so that's what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So that's going to take me a day to get there. It's going to take me a day. So you're on 1 day. Let me just...
I've got Eldritch sheet up if you need me to roll anything for her.
Yes. Okay, so there's not a lot for you to sort of... I won't need you to roll sort of there. You're stopping there. You'll sort of see... as you get to the crossroads... let me just put a... so you're on there, crossroads... so we can keep a track of everybody. Yeah, so as you sort of ride up, you sort of see in the distance you sort of see darkness looming over in the sky, like you get that feeling that there's a storm coming. And what was quite a nice sort of day seems to be starting to get darker, more grim. You see the bastion. You see smoke coming from the sort of the center of the bastion. There is a road that sort of leads towards it, which you can follow if you wish, or you can sort of make your way through the sort of forest to get there. If you want to go to the bastion itself, that is.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're going to head towards the bastion, but they're not going to go directly by the road from here on in, unless it's nighttime.
Okay. So are you waiting there until nighttime? Are you going to set up camp there until nighttime, or are you going to? Well, it's a day, so it's effectively nighttime as you get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll maybe sort of set up a sort of base camp, just for you get the horses tied up and fed and everything like that. But this is kind of like their sort of forward operating base. Basically, they'll sort of move out from here on in to sort of do like incursions and scout around closer to the bastion and.
Okay. So where do you want to go first? Which direction? Where do you want to look first?
Well, I suppose that if it, then again, if it is nighttime, they'll just go start heading straight down the main path towards it.
Okay, roll me. Everybody, roll me stealth.
Okay. So Thurval. Why has he got heavy armor?
That's
I
not
don't.
Slants.
Oh no, it's
That's Slants. Ooh.
That's weird. No, I
Uh,
rolled for Eldarith, so it shouldn't have heavy armor. She doesn't have.
So-
I
heavy
was like,
armor.
what the fuck's just happened there? So he's got advantage with his cloak.
Okay.
Serval. Can't remember if he's got any cloaks or anything like that. I don't think he does.
The cloak.
The cloak. The singed cloak.
Oh, hold on. Actually, no, that's right. Well, you just reminded me of the singed cloak. Does he have advantage with that? He doesn't have advantage with the singed cloak,
So you're on a 14 then.
but he's got
So-
inspiration, so he's gonna use his inspiration and reroll that.
Ooh.
Oh, natural 20, baby.
Ooh.
Yeah, you are all but invisible. Okay, yep. Next up.
I'm trying to figure out where heavy armor
Theravel-
came from. She's got scale now.
Theravel has the other
Yeah.
cloak. That was it.
Or does he? Apparently he doesn't. He's got a cloak of protection. Oh well. Okay, so Theravel.
Who did you give the cloak? You gave the cloak to somebody else. Did you give it to somebody else?
I think, did we not give it to Galandra or something like that at one point when she was dying, but then he did get it back.
Maybe.
But then he does, since he's got the new cloak, he or maybe he did actually give the other cloak to somebody else.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay.
Okay, Theravel.
30 as well. Both of you.
Okay.
Both of you.
Damn.
Eldarith.
Boosh.
So Eldarith has Nature's Veil, which replaces Hide in Plain Sight. So basically, as a bonus action, you can magically become invisible, along with any equipment you're wearing or carrying until the start of your next turn. Equal to your proficiency bonus just means that basically she'll become magically invisible.
Okay, well, so we'll stick it with the, you're all sort of, pretty well hidden.
Okay.
You're all pretty well hidden and stuff. Okay, so you started making your way down the sort of the path. It's another sort of walk. It's maybe another, so 5, 10. It's maybe another day's walk to the bastion itself. Are you roll me perception?
Where has my perception gone? There. Oh my god, so many 30s.
Get them out of the way.
This is scaring. This is like playing Blood Bullets whenever you get loads of 6s in a row and they're just waiting for the ones to come.
Waiting for the ones.
And he will drop shortly, yes.
Okay. As you're sort of sneaking by the road, you hear some swearing. You hear some swearing coming from the forest. It's like something's happened, but you hear like somebody swearing in the forest.
Was it quite offensive, bad swearing?
you can't make out what word it was, but you can just tell.
So they both
Three characters. No.
They both sort of nudge their head towards where the swearings come from. They sort of split directions to go either side and make their way towards the swearing, but still cautiously.
You make your way through what looks like a dying forest. The leaves are sort of kind of getting going slightly black. You've got some which still have their green hue, like they're fighting off the corruption, but there's not a load of foliage coming on. You sort of sneak up and you see in the sort of kind of center of this sort of kind of thicket, you see a man crawling sort of along the ground, and fucking cunts, and he's he's I'm not doing the wrong. I can't do a fucking
Get Michael to do it.
yeah. So basically, he's swearing at himself.
Fucking cunt.
He's injured. He's obviously injured, and he's sort of rested himself up against a tree as he's sort of mumbling to himself, and flows to the V's up towards the bastion and stuff, and doesn't see. He obviously isn't aware that you're there.
So the Tharavel makes his way around the sort of both of them actually make their way around the back of the tree while he's obviously cursing and effing and blinding. And they'll sort of just both come around either side of the tree and both just slowly, very, very quietly draw their bows and aim them at their head, and then just sort of quite quietly let themselves sort of be seen.
The man in the forest sort of looks up, and he doesn't seem, not like he's not surprised, but he just doesn't seem like he cares that there's sort of there's people pointing arrows at him.
He's like, of course.
He's just like and he looks at you, and
Typical.
Fucking typical elf cunts. And then he's just sorry. And you know what? Because I can't do Simon Gant. You can. He doesn't. Obviously, you don't know you don't know who he is, because obviously, so you can have a conversation with yourself, right?
So he's kind of like lying there, like, fuck, cunt, fucking leg, fuck, fucking ballista bollocks. And he sort of looks up and he sort of sees the arrows, and he's just like, "What the fuck you cunts want? Can't you see a fucking traveling? Can't fucking walk? Fucking give us a fucking hand."
Just by the way, we may have to tone his language down slightly.
Okay.
Stop saying fuck.
Because I can't sort of, I have to go through them all and kind of go. Can't.
You know what?
Okay,
You're going the right
try.
way for being Malta. You're going the right way for Malta's representative in the Eurovision.
So Tharavel and Cerevel are just kind of like, they sort of look him up and down and see that his legs are quite badly injured. They, kind of broken, and sort of feel that the threat is, he's not as high as threat. He doesn't have any. I don't think he's got any weapons or anything on him.
No.
Or he probably would have dropped them and stuff like that. And they sort of look at him as Tharavel says, "Who are you and what happened to you?" And he's like, "Who am I? Who are you? I was here first." He sort of looks at him. And Tharavel then sort of replies with like, "My name is Tharavel Eldon, and this is my brother." He's like, "Oh, you two are beautiful." Well, my ugly mug is Simon Gant. If that means absolutely anything to you, I'm sure you probably haven't heard of my name before, and it matters not. What does matter right now are my legs. I'm in quite a bit of pain. You think you can help a friend out? So Tharaval and Sarah, this is weird. I'm literally having a conversation with myself. It's like having a
Welcome to
split
my
You
world.
know
personality.
everything. You know everything.
And with me
Tharaval-
tonight are Michael as Terrible, Michael as Silver, and Michael as Simon.
I feel like Mike Myers in one of Mike Myers' films.
So
Look
Simon
at
Gans
my
Fat Bastard.
Look at my sexy body. Get
So,
in his
ogres
belly.
have layers. Ogres have layers. Get out my swamp.
Tharaval sort of
My God.
offers he offers bandages and aid, but he's like tell us how you got here. What happened to you? What attacked you? He's like, oh, this wasn't by an attack. Well, not directly. See that bastion over there, the one that's on fire? I was in that. Not by choice. I was what's the word? What's a resident of their underground, luxurious cells. Unlucky for the ones
Luxurious
in there who are still there. There's a flipping false Hydra there right now, and I managed to escape. Tharaval, how you managed to escape a false Hydra? That is quite a feat.
Eldrith uncloaks
We-
and says,
Danny says
Well,
sounds like a
after you
cross
escaped.
between Jason Statham and Billy Butcher from The Boys. Danny,
That's what we're going for.
yeah, you didn't want. You
Nailed
need to. You need to watch this. The sessions we had.
one shots.
The one shots we had
Four
called
shots.
the 4-shot called the Nobodies,
One-
and you'll
One
understand.
Simon
Star
Gans-
limited series.
Simon Gans
Yeah,
has become he's become a guest favorite. In fact, whenever he got reintroduced there, I felt like if people were watching, there would have been a standing ovation.
Yeah,
Eldrith steps forward and
massive
uncloaks
pop,
and says,
as we say in the wrestling world.
well, at least half
Well,
of him got away. I'm not sure about the rest. It's very loosely attached.
Oh, there's 3 of you. Bunch of fucking ninjas.
Oh, good. You can still count, so I guess you haven't got a concussion.
Oh, shut up! I was talking first. So he continues on. He's like, so as I said, the bastion is fucked, for lack of a better word. I managed to escape. Yes, and it was a feat of absolute magnificent heroism. Even if it did break both my fucking legs.
Eldrith does the Vulcan eyebrow thing to show skepticism. Loudly.
Oh, I can see that eyebrow. If you really must know, I catapulted myself using a ballista arrow and a rope. Quite successful, I think.
Saravel just sort of just starts laughing. He just starts laughing his ass off. He says, "From over there, you launched yourself from that bastion and broke your own legs."
Eldrith takes her knife out and then just pushes your leg over and says, okay, so that would be rope burns. And that would be a dislocated hip and possibly a dislocated knee. Did you particularly not like your leg?
All right, love, calm down. It's the leg in between that really matters, and it still works fine.
I stabbed the knife down, or she stabs the knife down into the earth and says, that could be fixed if you don't stop beating around the bush.
Cool.
Oh, I'll beat around your bush.
Oh, Anyway, if you fancy giving me a bit of help here, because I'm in a bit of trouble, despite my heroic act, and I've got some business to tend to. I need to find a guard captain Girk. At this point, I'm sure the three of them sort of recognize the name, and it kind of sort of their ears prick up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so
yeah, so if you want to take it from there.
yeah, so he tells you what he's looking for. He's a bit cagey about telling you any other information. He seems, he doesn't seem to be afraid of you. He seems not like trust you, but he doesn't sort of seem to be wary about yourselves. Roll me an insight into him to see if you sort of are bothered by him or not.
Insightly.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage. Okay, so you're he's rum, but you believe him, and like Saravel's just like looking around. He finds some of the rope, and he's just like, he fucking did it. Look, so he finds the rope, and
It finds the rope, and it actually is attached to a bolt at some point, which is like stuck into a tree somewhere.
And so he so he's he's telling the truth, and he is searching for Captain Girk. And as far as you can tell from the bolt in the tree and the rope dangling from it, what he said has happened. And obviously you've dealt with false hydras before, so yeah, you sort of believe what he's saying, because he's told you about Guard Captain Girk. You basically need to try and find out some more information about that. So you need to sort of tell it why you're looking for it, etc.
Okay. So basically, on mention of Guard Captain Girk, the other three, obviously, as I said, they recognize the name and everything like that. They straight away they're although they trust him, they don't really know his intent towards Guard Captain Girk. So they start to question him. It's like, what do you want with Guard Captain Girk? And at this point, he sort of becomes a bit more, sort of somber, a bit more, less mouthy, and just to the point. He's managed to escape and everything like that, but he still has his mission at hand that he was trying to do in the first place. All right, chaps and lady. So I was imprisoned in that bastion wrongfully for deserting my unit. I have to find Guard Captain Girk. It is of the utmost importance. He needs to. What was actually happening with Guard Captain Girk? Can I remember?
Yeah, so basically he needed to warn him about the fall of the bastion, and not to sort of go into it because it would have been a trap. And then obviously you would need to find him as well now to sort of tell him about what's happening.
Okay. So yeah, he sort of mentions about finding Guard Captain Girk to warn him of the falling of the bastion, and that, well, obviously the bastion has fallen and the corruption is eking its way further inland. Upon hearing this, Tharavel, he sort of mentions, I suppose he's not going to give away too much too soon, but they offer their services to help find the guard captain, because again, I think it's in their interest as well,
for reinforcing the or for reinforcements back to the sanctuary.
Yep. Okay, cool. I'll not have to roll or anything. I think we're sort of happy enough just to sort of accept that there's some mutual respect and understanding, mutual goal, etc. Okay. All right. I'll leave you there for now. Because it's late and I want to make sure everybody has something to do. Okay, so the three who were going out farming, foraging and farming. All right, so let's take us back to. Okay. We've got an Arno. We will do that. Okay, so we'll say that, it's you've been allowed to sort of leave for the sake of sort of gaining supplies and things. Which sort of sets of farms and stuff do you want to go north, west, south, east to sort of get supplies first? Do you want to organize people to go out and get from all places, and then you just sort of look to deal
supervise around and keep an eye out? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you've got.
Would we take a group of people out to that cluster to the southwest? Because there's 4 different fields there.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, cool. So you're taking yourself off over here then?
Yeah.
Well, surely we should split up.
Yeah, so you've got about 1,000 civilians sort of within the complex itself. You'd maybe need to round up some of them. So I'll give you some rolls. Actually, tell you, we'll do it that way. Roll me. You can either roll intimidation or persuasion, whatever you wish, and then we'll roll on how many will sort of kind of go with you, and then that makes things easier.
Well, that sucks. I'm obviously not very persuasive today. I'm paying for Michael, aren't I?
You buy a lottery ticket or the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm paying for Michael.
Yeah, lads, you sort of go and you sort of loom over these people who literally just run away. You come in, you sort of misspeak. It comes out in a garbled sort of Warforged sort of language, and they just run, scared. And okay,
whose throat did you have to slit?
Sarah. Sarah, yeah, so you basically, I don't know, you can tell me what you tell them, how you intimidate them if you wish.
Okay, so I kind of gather them all up and like, right, this is how it is. You're either going to come with me, we're going to gather some food, and there's a chance that we might all survive this. If you don't want to gather some food, I can make it real easy, and we can just get rid of you and give your portion to someone else.
Yep. Okay. So they look very keen to gather food and not be, ghosted. So Arno, yeah, you sort of, prancing around with your lute, I don't know, sort of singing them songs, and how are you?
Come
with me.
I'm not punching the pipe.
Come with me.
Come with me into the field.
All the little kids are look at the funny little man, and they're sort of gonna run.
Wait. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So you've got. Let me just sort of roll. So you've got. We'll say that's 2 successes. So I will give you a minute. Where's my little... What's in on here? So, you've got... Approach success. Alright. I'm going to give you... 400 civilians. And that will give you 4d100. And you're going over here. That will give you 4d100. Boosh. So that gets you a grand total of 1,810 supplies for the day. Simples as that. So let's add that onto your total. You have got 36,000. That is up to 37.
Arno will be just trying a discreet spell outside the walls when he's on the farms to see if he can cast any magic.
Yeah. So you, when you get outside, you just feel that sort of energy. You just felt empty when you were inside. As soon as you walk out, you just feel it coming back. As you do, and you're sort of walking along the path to the sort of southern fields, Kivy sort of walks beside you, says, "Hello, my love. I've missed you."
Arno looks back at her and says, well, what did you know before? You seemed shocked. A cursory glance when I was on the gallows. You assured me everything would be okay, but
I would have never have let them do that, my love. I would have broken every rule in the book to prevent it. You were in no danger. That's why I smiled. I knew you were safe.
How can we break through this anti-magic barrier? And how is it that you can appear inside, yet I have no control over my powers?
It would seem that your friends found a null spot, an area within the temple itself that the field doesn't seem to reach. That's why those lovely red witches are guarding it with some of your dragonborn fellows. Getting rid of that anti-magic field, well, that's going to be up to yourselves. I have a feeling that Brother Gadden and Barty have currently found a way to circumvent your problem.
And you believe this anti-magic force to be keeping us safe?
She goes, it has been tampered with, my love. It is, in theory, keeping you safe, but at any time could be used against you. I would obviously advise that yourself, or at least those two, deal with that as quickly as possible, because if the enemy does come here and you by chance do bend them off, then you'll be weakened and at the mercy of these red witches and Kiamat. I know what he is capable of. And the weakness at the end of battle is all he needs.
I know. I've seen it too, remember?
But
this is exactly as I thought. I tried to warn them. I tried to warn the High Paladin. Even Gadden shut me down. Let's hope they see reason. I don't know why nobody cared more. These red witches could clearly circumnavigate these defenses. Clearly meant there was tampering. Clearly meant that they are in control. Let's see if they come to me for help. And he puts his head down and walks on thinking.
She sort of stands there as you walk off and looks. She feels quite sort of down. She doesn't like to see you sort of unhappy. She's a changed Jinn, and she follows after you and says, what ails you, my love? Why so down?
I just feel like it's all just happening again.
What's happening again?
Out of one situation and into another. Everything I do seems to make things worse. I know I'm past all of those blames for people we've lost. But if I'm not losing someone, I'm spreading a plague or a curse or a false hydra without knowing about it, getting almost hanged for it. And then when I try and speak reason, I'm shut down by my friends. I just want them to see that. I just want them to know. I'm not just here for me, nor Cyril.
You look over. Cyril's obviously he's with you, and he seemed happier than he's been in a while. He's even sort of doing sort of little sleight of hand tricks for some of the kids who are sort of helping out in the fields, and you sort of look over at him, and it sort of has this sort of the small times that sort of that you had that were good back in the day. Part of that sort of comes back, and that having your brother is it makes you feel at least a little bit stronger having him there. Though with that comes the worry of him, anything happening to him. Kivy says, I will protect him as best I can. But she says, but my loyalty, my devotion is to you, Jarek. And but I will, if you command it, look after him for you.
He goes, And he doesn't really say much. And then he thinks twice, says, thank you. It means a great deal. I just wish he could be safer.
She
ready for what is about to come.
She sort of sits down on a rock near one of the sort of at the corner of one of the fields, and she sort of looks out at the people toiling in the farms on the field, sorry, and she says, it's quite idyllic here. Such a beautiful place. Despite the fortifications, it's a place you could maybe call home. It's lush, it's green, and yet darkness will spread here. But I know, Jarek, I know that within you is the strength to fend off this darkness and keep this beautiful place beautiful. I know that these fields will be aflame soon, that these people will scream and not laugh, but it will be replanted. It will grow, and it will be because of you. I know this to be true. Take heart.
He just sighs.
We are in dark times, and all... I know, I see it in their faces. Even your friends have doubts. Your friends have, with all their bluster and all their bravado, I fear they feel the same as you. Maybe they just don't show it as much.
I'm glad I have you back, Kibby. I'm glad I have you to talk to and to trust, especially after I feel somewhat forsaken by our most recent interactions with the old man.
What happened? I'm trying to think. What did we do with the old man again?
Well, with everything with Gregor.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
the
Oh yeah.
involuntary
Oh yeah.
conversion that
Yeah.
Arno and Gadden and Lance all have very big issues with.
Yeah.
But like Arno is still reeling from the fact that this happened after he was inside Gregor's dream and everything that he did, and knew that there was another way, and Bahamut took advantage, in his mind anyway.
Yeah. She looks at you and she says, despite their what's the word? When you're trying to be like really good, what's another word for being like really good and
Best intent.
yeah, but that's their best intent. No, not their best intent. They're it's like a word. I'm trying to think. I've got it at the tip of my tongue.
Benevolence.
Benevolence. That's it. But despite their facade of benevolence, all gods are the same. Believe me, even we jinn can be the same. They are immortal, but they are fallible. And that old man makes mistakes like the rest of us. He may not admit it, people may not believe it, but he does. And all we can, as much as it pains me to say this, because me and he have never seen eye to eye, he is doing that what he believes is right for this land. And unfortunately, we haven't got many choices left. I don't know if I agree with what he did to Gregor, especially a boy so young, but I have a feeling he will play an important role one way or another. Should that be one for ill, then I will help you take down that god. You and I, you will not just be a dragon slayer, you will be a god slayer. And she sort of laughs at, she's not being super serious, but she says, I will try and speak to him if I can, if he will speak to me. but for the time being, we just have to accept that what he does has a greater purpose. And she sort of kind of has this, she kind of not slightly vomits in her mouth, but sort of feels a bit sort of like, she doesn't like being nice about him and stuff. But she says, all that, I need you to talk to your friends. We need to make sure that these anti-magic fields can be circumvented, and then I can be beside you inside the temple complex. As it stands, I can only stand in that ante-room.
I see. I will have words. And then he says, I'm not afraid. Not afraid of anything. If it means having to bring down a god, then so be it. A friend of mine once said, he bows to no man, no god. And I am inclined to agree. And he walks off.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Sarah or Lance, do you have anything else you want to do or say before we, I guess, call it?
I'm good.
No? Okay. Anybody else got anything they want to do or say before we call it?
No, good.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was only one day, so well, what we will try to do then, so we've got a bit more going. Is we will put stuff in the chat, in the Discord chat. We can sort of kind of work through a few more days, get a bit more information, and then obviously the next week we can go from there and stuff. So we can do the stuff with Gant and Tharavel, sort of looking for Guard Captain Girk and see where the enemy is. We can do some more sort of mundane sort of farming and stuff, getting supplies and things, so we can just do some rolls on that. And then we can try and deal with the sort of anti magic fields. Before I do, who is left in the... It's Garden and...
Yes.
Okay.
Inside the bastion.
Yeah.
Party.
Okay, roll both of
Ken
you.
Barty and Dragon Boy.
Yeah, so roll me... both of you roll me a perception check.
Perceive. 13?
Brother Garden... Ooh, is that a
No.
crit? Is that a crit?
No, it's not.
No.
No. Okay.
It's,
You as you're sort of...
Leave that.
What the hell's that?
That's my phone going off.
As you are how do I do this without sort of fully giving it all away? I need a little clue. You're walking down the stairs and you sort of you're going towards the Red Witches. You get a... Oh no, because that's gonna well give it away.
something happens.
Yeah, I'm just trying to... You are aware of fuck it, I might as well. Yeah, I think you're gonna. We don't. Okay, if you're aware, like you get this sort of feeling of like a quiet has been the silence has been sort of disrupted. What felt like sort of silence in your head disappears very briefly and then goes back. So you've got this sort of it feels like it's hard to explain. You can't explain it to yourself, but you feel like you were within this sort of quiet within your head, and then suddenly it dissipates very, very, very briefly and then goes back again.
Whereabouts? Just down the stairs.
Just as you're sort of walking down the stairs, you just get this feeling like you're sort of looking around it. You're looking around at things, and you see, and then you just get this sort of odd feeling, like you've been like it's hard to explain. Like you've been in a very quiet place. Suddenly there's more natural noise, and then suddenly it goes back to being quiet again. There is noise and stuff
like
around you, but
space.
yeah, so you just have this feeling that there's something odd.
Is it like the sound that you get when you're putting on headphones, listening to something, take it off, and then you hear the natural thing? And then
Yeah, like just like that. Yeah.
Cool. All right. He takes a moment when he's going downstairs. Kind of because it's the walls, the stairs, and there's a point where he stops.
Yeah, you sort of
wants to go back.
Yeah.
And then just to see if it happens again.
Yeah, so you sort of walk back and roll me another perception, sure.
All right, 1 second. There it is. Perception.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. This time you are not sort of you don't seem to get the same feeling. You're in the same spot. You're sort of looking around. You feel like you're looking at everything you meant to be looking at, but you're just not really getting that same vibe again. It was just that you just had that moment where it was just like it was just there, but you can't seem to get it again.
He walks down the stairs, just conscious that that's happened, and he just looks at the tower, feeling like there might be something around. He was going to do an Arcana check, but he completely dismisses the fact because he can't use magic at the moment.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll leave it there then. So yeah, we will do a bit more. Hopefully over Discord, so we can get some of the more mundane stuff out of the way and move things forward. So it's just not farming simulator for the next sort of few weeks. Well, we okay, cool. All right.
Someone wanted to do a speech simulation.
All right.
Speech simulation.
Yeah, it's good to see. With Gant, it was like I had some other places like he could turn up at the end, he could turn up there, but then when Michael was saying Tharavel was going to go down here, and I was like, that's pretty much where he probably would have been catapulted in. So I was just like, yeah, he's got to be there and stuff. So I'll just throw him in there.
I thought he would turn up at some point, but not so quickly. But I'm happy he has.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's for us tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Hope you enjoyed yourself, Danny. You need to check out the Nobodies because you understand what's going on. Anybody else who's been watching this, if you don't understand who Simon Ganted is, then check out the Nobodies. It's a part of the campaign, but not. It's like it's a 4-shot effectively, but it's very enjoyable. You should go just for that, just for those characters. Apart from that, I've been Matt Geary. With me tonight has been Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
No, Jerkel. Yeah.
Michael Tharavel Eldon.
It's back, baby!
Jace as Brother Gadden.
I can't fight this feeling any longer.
Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
It's RuneQuest 2025.
Marcus Lance.
Hello.
And Vic as Saren Sanguine.
Siege Simulator 25, out now.